snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles, touchdown.
Here he goes. It's Hester inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown.
Fields stumbling, trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown!
Hurts on first down, fires downfield. It's Deshaun Jackson back in the lineup. This is the last 7 games, and he will take it 81 yards. A somersault into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season.
You're listening to the Pigskin Project, the world's #1 football podcast. Now, with more insights on all things football, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen and Ryan Matthews. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first mock draft of the 2023 draft season. What everybody has been waiting for. Go ahead and leave a like and everything for the algorithm for everybody else that enjoys mock drafts. We're going to go ahead and draft for everybody. I'm going to draft first. Ben's going to draft second. That way we can get to our favorite teams at least once because somebody has multiple first-round picks. And we're going to go ahead and start. We're not doing trades.
Second pick, though.
What's that?
You'll be able to make that second pick. Or nope. I lied because of forfeit. Never mind. Don't listen to what I'm saying.
We'll see. All right. So picking Bryce Young overall. No, I'm just kidding. So the way that this is going to work, I'm going first. Ben's going second. And then we'll go back and forth. So Will Anderson's going first off the board to Chicago in an uneventful change of events.
Yes.
As far as not trading the pick.
Yeah, like Ryan said, again, this being the first mock draft of the mock draft season, I guess is the best way to put it. Start off a little slow, and then we'll ramp it up. We'll do some crazier picks. We'll do some button trades and everything. But to keep it nice and easy, how could I not go with Bryce Young?
All right. Bryce Young to Houston. I'm saying Jalen Carter to Arizona.
It'll be really interesting to see how all of his stuff plays out throughout the season. I do think it's beneficial that this stuff came out during the combine, which allowed him, because he figured it out, he flew back. He's got meetings with teams that I think was really beneficial, that at least it came out now while he was in Indy when he could talk to teams versus even a week later during free agency when teams aren't focused on that and he didn't really have the opportunity to, or even like a Jeremy Tunsil thing the night of. So beneficial that that happened.
Next pick.
Yes. Next pick, Colts at 4. Always been a Will Levis dude, but I think we look at who they just hired in their head coach. We see how he developed Jalen Hurts, a dude who wasn't pro ready right away, but had the tools. I think if the Colts pick anyone other than Anthony Richardson, you're not doing your job right when it came to hiring your head coach and players to fit him. It's Anthony Richardson. I think he has all the tools, and I think Steichen can do wonders with him because we saw what he just did with Jalen Hurts.
Next pick. You're looking at the defensive line, looking at any kind of help, really. I'm going to go Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech at number 5. Now, keep in mind, too, this is our first mock draft that we have done together. Normally, I have this idea of I don't know that much around the draft. So thank God that everybody voted correctly as far as having the pieces fall where they may and having me do a little bit more research during the combine as well, as far as how I know my prospects. So,
yes,
big help to everybody. Appreciate you guys that participated in the poll. That's huge. Thank you for the dare I say fan interaction. I feel weird saying that, but yes, this is awesome.
Yes.
Ben,
we said we were going to not keep it crazy, so we won't. I was tempted to take a quarterback here at 6, but we'll keep it nice and tame. We'll take my CB1 in the class. I know people like Devin Witherspoon, but if I think you're crazy if you have him in front of Christian Gonzalez. So give me Christian Gonzalez. You have Jeff Okudah and Christian Gonzalez over the next 10 years, having at least, two tandem really good guys. And when you're playing in the division with Justin Jefferson, you're going to need it. And T. Higgins and Darnell Mooney. So,
yeah. The next pick, now a lot of people would think C.J. Stroud really outperformed Will Levis, but Will Levis has a lot of high-end potential as well. He's got a cannon and everything, and when you pair that with Devontae Adams, I think that's going to make some magic happen. So he's going to go to Vegas.
I would cry if he goes to Vegas. I'm going to cry if he goes to Vegas. Will Levis is my guy. For those who watch like the actual podcast, which I absolutely encourage you guys to go and go back through, listen to our podcast. We record every Wednesday. We go live every Wednesday night. Podcast goes up Thursday. So if you guys like this content, go and listen to the actual podcast. Will Levis has been my guy. I would cry if he goes to the Raiders because Josh McDaniels' offensive scheme does not help like a quarterback with tools. Like he just wants a quarterback that can distribute the ball like Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'd cry. I'm half tempted to go CJ Stroud here. I best not, because I would have Falcons fans in my ears. I'm thinking defensive line here. A dude I'm not quite as high on as everyone else is, but I'm coming around to it a little bit more. Lucas Van Ness.
All right.
I think he can play edge. I think he can play tackle. I think if you're the Falcons, you just need someone who can come in immediately and have some kind of impact on your defense. So, yeah.
CJ Stroud's going to be a Panther in this draft. He's not falling out of, the top 10, and the Eagles sure aren't drafting a quarterback. So, unless they want to reset the rookie clock.
Oh, yes. And for those who picked up on...
Oh, the mic cut out. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, he muted himself. Maybe it disconnected. There we go.
Yeah, I was making a joke about T. Higgins being a Bear. It was a joke. I know that. I want to clarify that for those who aren't usual listeners and don't realize I'm joking. I'm really up in the air between three guys here. I am an Eagles fan for those who are new to the channel. It's don't do it. Don't do it. I'm for those who wondering why I had that visceral reaction is because I hate when people take wide receivers to Eagles at 10. I'm really deciding between Bijan, Kancey, and Witherspoon. Oh, it really just depends on what we do in free agency.
Which will be fun next week, so tune into next week's mock as well.
Yes, because that decides. Because if Hargraves is gone, then I'm inclined to go with Kancey. Because if Kancey fits with anyone, it's the Eagles. Because it's a big nose tackle to do it. But we're not going to do it. I don't want Eagles fans to be mad at me, so I don't think I'll do Bijan this mock, but I will definitely be doing it in later mocks. So yeah, give me Devon Witherspoon.
All right. In this mock, we haven't seen any free agents go anywhere just yet. That being said, the Titans need a tackle, but they also need wide receivers.
So bad.
But
their tackle, they have no one at tackle. I could step in and be a starting tackle for the Titans.
So with that being said, yeah, we're going with Peter Skoronski. No. I'm sorry. Peter Skoronski's good, but he's not as good as Paris Johnson. So Paris Johnson's going at 11.
Yes. That being said, the Texans got their quarterback. Give him a dude that he can pair with on offense. Give him Quentin Johnston. Give him a dude that can grow with him as a player. I think that's the only pick there, unless you want to do like a Kalijah Kancey, but I think it's too rich right now.
Which means Peter Skoronski is going to be a Jet then.
Yes.
Fill their need at tackle at 13.
Yeah.
On the clock, New England.
I know there's a player that screams New England to me, and I really don't want to take him because it's too rich for me. But it's the dude number 1 on the board. I think Jackson Smith, something about him screams New England to me. I'm gonna do it because that's what they need. I would not take him at 14. Hey, I am not the biggest JSN guy, but
I'd rather him go at 14 to the Patriots than 15 to the Packers. All I gotta say.
If Van Ness is here, though, this is Van Ness's. This is the highest Van Ness will go. Van Ness will not be getting past the Green Bay. Any mock draft that I guess this is wrong because it's all opinionated. But Van Ness, this is like the lowest Van Ness will go is to the Packers. They love that molded guy. The Packers love that molded guy.
So I'm thinking, and it's weird for me to pick for the Packers, but I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible. Otherwise, I'd scroll down to the bottom and pick the last scrub on the board. But where I'm thinking, so it's either Zay Flowers, but I think that's too early. So right now what I'm going to do is pick the guy that I think raised his stock a lot, and that's Nolan Smith, edge rusher out of Georgia.
And there's 2 guys already on the Packers defense who played at Georgia with Tyndall and Devontae Wyatt that they both drafted in the first round last year. So they're just going to try to recreate that Georgia defense, the best defense to ever do it in college football. All right. That being said, Washington here is at the clock at 16. They just need offensive line help in every sense of the way. We'll do Broderick Jones. We'll do Broderick Jones.
All right. The Steelers are on the clock now.
And they're mad that Broderick Jones just got picked.
Absolutely. However, Joey Porter Jr. is still on the board. They do need secondary help as well.
They do.
So let's go ahead and take Joey Porter Jr. off the board here. And wasn't his dad a Steeler as well?
Yes, his dad was a line
full circle, baby.
There you go. Full circle. I definitely should have picked him there, 16, but that's oh well. It's part of doing a mock draft, right? The Lions at 18, they picked Christian Gonzalez at 6. If you want to go to the edge rushers, let me see what edge rushers are on the board here still. Houston was a nice – oh, come on. I can't let my guy fall farther than this. Give me Miles Murphy. That's scary. Oh, my gosh. An edge rushing duo of Miles Murphy and Aiden Hutchinson.
Insane.
They wreak havoc on Justin Fields – or Bryce Young, sorry.
So the Bucs need just about everything here.
Dude, Sirens Torrance would be so much fun. And they need it too. But they need everything, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, they need a lot. This is why I can see them trading a bunch of players as well, just blowing it up. They don't have an impressive pick. So, I mean, I'm going to go with Dalton Kincaid as well. How do you say his last name?
Kincaid.
The tight end out of Utah. Just going to go ahead and eliminate the tight end need here.
In the Seahawks are, again, like thanking their lucky stars that Osiris Torrance is still on the board here. They're really sweating out pick 19. They're just off the charts happy that he is still here. Yeah, Osiris Torrance.
Dolphins forfeited their pick, so the Chargers are on the clock here. They need a wide receiver.
Speed is what they need.
Which is exactly what I'm thinking as well.
Yes.
Flowers.
Oh, that would be so much fun. That offense would be so scary, dude. Herbert, Zay Flowers, maybe Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Eckler. That's a scary offense. Yeah. I really wanted to give them. Level, though? Yeah. I really wanted to give these guys Zay, and they're kind of mad that Zay got picked right in front of them. Let me see the wide receivers on the board.
Jordan
Yeah,
Addison.
no, give me give me Jordan Addison here. They just need all the wide receiver help they can get, whether that's Lamar or whoever else is back there.
That means the Vikings are picking up an interior defensive lineman out of Kalijah Cansey out of Pittsburgh.
Nice. And
I probably should have picked Deontay Banks because I consider corner a bigger need, but
I'm not a Deontay. I like Deontay Banks in the second round. I think people are overvaluating Deontay Banks. That being said, I'm if any player in this class outside of Jalen Carter and Will Anderson are going to be all pros on defense, it's going to be Brian Branch. And as it says there for the Jaguars, they need DBs and all assets, and Brian Branch can play safety or nickel cornerback. Brian Branch is going to step right in and be a difference maker for this team.
All right. Our next move with the Giants.
They're so mad that all the wide receivers are off the board right now.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they just want to reach.
That's a big reach, though.
I mean, you could give them a Mayer or a Darnell Washington, but I don't know. How rich is it? It's your pick. So.
I mean, okay, let's look at the linebackers.
Darian Henley is way too. Oh God, goodness golly!
I was gonna say, do I dare draft Jack Campbell in the
if
first
Jack
round?
Campbell is the first linebacker off the board, I'm gonna have a fit.
I'm just saying. I mean, because Drew Sanders also showed out, but
I love Drew Sanders. I think if he's not the first linebacker, I think if Trent Sips is not the first linebacker, it should be Drew Sanders. Which is a big flip because I was not a Drew Sanders guy going into the process, but now I'm a big Drew Sanders guy. Ooh, John Michael Schmidt is still on the board. Dirty dog.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go linebacker here, and I'm gonna go Jack Campbell.
No. Okay. I really didn't want to do this, and I really wanted this guy to fall to 30. It would be a dream of mine to have this guy fall to 30. But it's just not realistic, and I think they're on the outs with Zeke. I think they franchised Pollard for a reason. If they wanted to sign him to a longer contract, they would have. I know that there are other needs on this team, but Jerry loves his running game. I'm going to go with my favorite player in the class, and Bijan Robinson. You let him sit behind Pollard for a year, like two-headed back with him and Pollard, and then Pollard leaves next year. Get a comp pick for Pollard and have Bijan be the best running back in the NFL.
So as far as the Bills pick at 27, I'm just gonna go ahead and get Deontay Banks off the board here at 27, because they need a defensive back.
Nice. There has been rumors going around that La'el Collins might be cut, and even if La'el Collins is still like playing, their right guard or their right tackle, Jonah Williams, has not played very well. I'm gonna go with my fourth tackle on the board. I'm gonna go with DeJuan Jones. I think DeJuan Jones is a road grader. So no matter what you even do there, I think he's a fine. I think he has fine hands on pass pro, and he's absolutely road grader on the run game. So continue getting them offensive line help.
Next up, the Saints pick, number 29 overall, Brian Breesy. That's the pick.
That makes me so happy. I don't like Brian Breesy, and I was worried that he was going to fall out of round one, which I don't think is going to happen. Yeah, if you guys go back and you guys listen to the actual episode that comes out alongside this one, we did talk about biggest risers in the draft. I mentioned two edge rushers. One is already off the board, but the other one's still here. And I think the Eagles would, if he's here, Eagles are sprinting to the podium at 30 because they love their athletic guys that can play edge and 3 tech. And Northwestern edge.
Oh,
No.
Felix.
No,
that's
Northwestern
Kansas
edge.
State. That's Kansas State. I apologize.
He might be defensive line. Oh,
The
yep,
pick,
there he is. Adebayo. Oh, that's what the pick is. The Eagles pick is. I think he played himself into the first round. If not, he's going to go very early in round 2. I like Felix and Buka Uzama. I think he's fun, but if they pick him over Adebayo, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be livid. I love this kid. I think he had a great combine.
If people are tuning in this far, it's simply just a typo. So like,
yes,
just disregard that. One purple logo to another.
Yes, Adebayo I'm the Northwestern edge. The dude who can play edge and 3-tech when you want on NASCAR. So
Will McDonald is going to be a Chief. They love. They just cut their other edge rusher. So Will McDonald is going to be that. So finishing up, just a recap: Will Anderson at 1, Bryce Young at 2, Jalen Carter at 3, Anthony Richardson at 4, Tyree Wilson at 5, Christian Gonzalez at 6, Will Levis at 7, Lucas Van Ness at 8, C.J. Stroud at 9, Devon Witherspoon at 10, Paris Johnson at 11, Quentin Johnson at 12, Peter Skoronsky at 13, JSN at 14, Nolan Smith at 15, Broderick Jones at 16, Joey Porter at 17, Miles Murphy at 18, Dalton Kincaid at 19, Osiris Torrance at 20, Zay Flowers at 21, Jordan Addison at 22, Kalijah Cansey at 23, Brian Branch at 24, Jack Campbell at 25, Bijan Robinson at 26, Deontay Banks at 27, DeJuan Jones at 28, Brian Breesy at 29, the Northwestern edge, not the Kansas State edge that I accidentally drafted, at 30, and then Will McDonald at 31. And now, if your team owned any of those draft picks and you remember the number, and keep in mind, if you've listened to this far, you probably know who picked who, but just remember the draft numbers. But also something to look at. Last year, when we looked at the first mock draft compared to the last mock draft, I believe we nailed more picks in the first mock draft than we did in the last. So something to keep an eye on. It's kind of interesting how that stuff ends up.
Smoke screen season starts happening now. So
here we go. Stay tuned for next week for our next mock draft and our next episode. And feel free to leave a like or a comment on any of our socials, subscribe and everything. Just stay tuned for the next live stream, and we'll be back with another mock draft next week. Go listen to our episode if you haven't, episode 58. The name of the podcast episode is The Return of the Quarterback Carousel. So go ahead and give us a listen there. But after everything that is finished us off for this week, the Pigskin Project. We'll see you guys when free agency starts.